Jean-Pierre quickly. On East Palestine, not going to go, not visiting, no plans to visit.
Not at this time, as you heard from the president.
Himself says, okay, we're going to go there at some point.
At some point.
Okay,
Yep.
so there's a political critical mass that has been building, and it would appear that this is one of those national events where people will not be satisfied until the president himself goes there, even if you have all of your important cabinet level officials go. So it also appears as if not going to go, not going to go. Okay, now we're going to go. So what are the factors that will be required for the president to go? Is it a specific deliverable that he can bring? Is it a specific invitation from local officials? Is it a certain kind of window where he will feel comfortable?
Well, he already got an invitation from the governor. I think you heard the governor said he's welcome. Look, I don't have anything to preview. The president was asked a question, and he answered it very honestly. And once we have more to share as if there is a...
I mean, the president himself said, no, I have no plans to go, and then yesterday said he'll go at some point. So I'm just trying to get
what is the switch? He was asked a direct question, and he's been updated throughout, being regularly updated on the president. He answers a question very honestly, and he said, sometime in the future I will probably go. But I don't have anything to share. We don't have a plan for the president to go at this time. We don't have
inflation. The Fed said today, actually, in its semi-annual report to Congress, it suggested that more rate hikes would be needed to curb inflation. And I know you all have been fairly confident that inflation is slowing and that this would all lead to a soft landing. I'm curious if you all still feel that a soft landing is possible, and if so, can you help me understand why you are so confident in that assessment?
And we have said that there's going to be it's going to go into a steady and stable growth, and sometimes there'll be some up and downs, right? We have been very clear about that. I think the last look, the way that we see it, and the reason why we feel very confident in this is that the president's economic agenda, the way that we see it, and others have as well, is that it's making progress to bring inflation down. It has been moderating over the last 6 months, and we think that's important to speak to.
I mean, it's been, I would say, rather sticky.
Well, and that's why we say we have more work to do. We're not saying that we don't have more work to do. We say this every time we talk about inflation, every time we talk about the economy, we say that there's more work to do. That's why the president takes extra steps, like the IRA, takes extra steps.
On East Palestine, Senator Manchin said this week that the president visiting there would give confidence to the residents. Obviously, I know you guys haven't announced anything, no plans right now for him to go there, but do you think it could make a difference for the president to go, even if all that accomplished was to give some sort of reassurance to many of the residents there who are still very worried and upset about what happened?
Look, I believe you heard from the president just yesterday, who said that he's planning to go there at some point. What he's going to do is when that happens, we're going to coordinate with state and local officials to make that trip occur. Look, what the president has been focused on is making sure that we make the community, the people in East Palestine, whole again.
He left the meeting, he said, about Ohio. He was asked about East Palestine and supporting legislation that's in the works. He said, I will be there soon. Is there a plan for him to go?
I don't have any trips to preview for you at this time. The president also, if I'm remembering correctly, moments ago, he also talked about how essentially this has been a priority. He's talked to make them whole, and we're going to. You've heard this from Secretary Buttigieg. You've heard this from Administrator Regan. We're going to make sure that we hold Norfolk Suffolk.
Has urged the president yesterday to appoint or nominate a Latino American as Fed Vice Chair. Can you say, I know you don't want to get ahead of the process, but can you say publicly whether a Latino American is under consideration?
I'm not going to get ahead of the process. In building their own clean energy economies. I'm not going to, again, get ahead of a meeting that's going to happen next week. But the president and we have been very clear on how important we feel the Inflation Reduction Act is.